Well, hello there. How is everyone? You amazing, amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. Look, we are finally in. We're finally in. Don't know what the sound is going to be like because there's pretty much no sound deadening, and this is literally all wooden floors and all of that malarkey. But anyway, you're looking absolutely amazing. I hope you are feeling better than I am because it's been quite a mental few days. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel because that will cheer me up. Because it's been that crazy. I think I've put on about 10 years. But a lot of you had reached out to me and you were saying, Ash, did you see it? Did you see it? And I knew exactly what you meant. You was talking about Steve Gonsalves over on the Drunk Turkey show. Was he a turkey? Chicken? I don't know. But that dude, Daniel. And so Steve Gonsalves went on to the Drunk Turkey show and did like an hour and a half or whatever chat. And yes, I did manage to, while I was working, I put my headphones on and was listening to it. And I just, for the life of me, I can't work out how it's allowed, how this situation is able to come about. I genuinely don't. I don't get it. You know, now I know that Steve Gonsalves isn't subject to any real gag order, so in theory he could say what he wants. The issue that I have is that Steve Gonsalves is behaving in a manner and making statements that would seem to suggest that he knows something. He seems to know more than what the defense knows, which I cannot work that out unless Ann Taylor is just pulling a blinder and she basically knows stuff as well, and she is making the public seem or feel that she doesn't know anything, because we've consistently heard her say certain things and do certain things that would seem to suggest that she just doesn't really know why Bryan is even in the courtroom. You know, obviously there's the DNA on the knife sheath that she seems to have. We seem to be in this funny place where Ann Taylor has almost conceded that, yeah, that's Bryan's DNA, but you can't tell us how it got there. You know, just because it's there, it doesn't mean he did it. And they're going to go down the route of an alternative suspect. And I do want you to stick around. Like I say, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit like on the video. Even if you don't, I don't care, just do it anyway. Do something nice. The world doesn't have many people doing nice things. It just seems that everyone's trying to shit on each other. Not literally, that's for another video. Well, not video, that's for another site altogether, that sort of stuff. But yeah, like, she seems to have conceded that's his, but there's something that I need to speak about, which Michael Dario, he reached out to me, and something else was going on in Moscow, Idaho, on the night this happened, or on the 12th of November, that could have a huge relevance to Bryan Kohberger. So I'm going to be looking more into that, so I can bring it to you. Like, I've literally just set the desk up because we literally come in here today, so I'm a little bit underprepared, or I would have done more to you. But no, we'll do that tomorrow. But with respect of Steve Gonsalves, you know, Steve Gonsalves is making comments and making statements that would seem to suggest that he knows more. He talks about the fact that once the jury has been selected and they are in the courtroom and they're kind of then protected from, or they're away from the media. The issue is that that's closed in the stable door after the horse has bolted, isn't it? You know, they're all being subjected to the media right now. You know, I don't think if they're local to this area, they haven't heard about this crime. They're not looking at this crime. They're definitely going to be balls deep in the Idaho 4 case, you know, purely because they may feel that they may get called up for jury service, so they may want to be doing their homework. The downside is, who are they going to get information off of? The likes of Ashley Bamfield and, I don't know, Nancy Grace. That's going to be their homework. But no, he is definitely suggesting that he knows more. And once these jury members are then in the trial, then he is going to come out, and he made a statement, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically said, I'm then going to tell everyone everything. I'm going to tell everyone everything I know. So, bearing in mind that Steve Gonsalves, for a long period of time, he was seemingly as on the fence as what we are, and it was a case of, look, if the guy's done it, he's done it, But we need to go down the route of this trial. He deserves due process, but then if due process finds him guilty, then fuck him, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? But something happened with Steve Gonsalves, and I've said this multiple times. And look, bless his heart, he lost his kid. He lost his kid, and there ain't nothing worse than that. So for that situation, I feel for the guy, but it doesn't excuse certain things. It doesn't excuse certain behaviours. And when you're going on to a channel such as a YouTube channel, this isn't just about Daniel over at the Drunk Turkey Show, but you've got Steve Gonsalves going on to the Drunk Turkey Show, who is a pure anti-Bryan Kohberger. He is an absolute guilter and always has been. I suppose the next person Steve Gonsalves would go on to would be Gray Hughes. I don't know. But the point being, you're going on to YouTube channels and openly discussing that they know information about this crime that is pertinent to the case and the trial and potentially the outcome. And this goes well into the realms now of, so what do we have? Do we have an internal leak that is leaked information? Is that why we saw you do a 180? But you would think that Steve Gonsalves would want to make sure that there is a preserved sanctuary around this case, to make sure that when it goes to trial, it absolutely does function right and the outcome is garnered and there isn't anything that can go wrong. But he is being the main antagonist of what could potentially be a reason why this trial could very well go absolutely tits up. Because after listening to that, it seems to me, like, again, it seems that there's a leak. It seems that he's been told something. He's been spoken to and given information. So what are we looking at? Are we looking at a trial by ambush? And Steve Gonsalves knows exactly what the score is. Now, let's not forget that Steve Gonsalves very, very, just a couple of weeks ago, was it, that he seemed to suggest that there is footage that shows Bryan Kohberger going into this property and coming out of this property. Now, do I believe that? At this moment in time, I don't believe it. I'd have to see it. But could you imagine if that does actually exist and Taylor didn't know about it? Or did she know about it and she's just acting like she doesn't know about it and saying the things that she said and doing the things she said? But Steve is literally saying, he's taking the piss out of Anne, just saying that she is just wasting her fucking time. Like, he knows something that is so damning that she is just taking the piss, even trying to defend Bryan Kohberger, and it's a pointless waste of time. So I ask you, whether you're a guilter or a non-guilter, down the middle, a pro-burger, anti-burger, whatever you identify as, a fucking carrot. Let me know down below. What do you think it is, what Steve Gonsalves actually knows? Or do you just think that he's blowing hot air? Because he's very, very, very often speaking as if he knows far more than what he is supposed to know. And he's acting with some degree of confidence. So is it confidence in knowledge that there is information out there that is pertinent to the case and absolutely nails Bryan Kohberger? Or is it that there is confidence in he knows what the outcome is going to be? Because there is a difference. Confidence in the outcome or confidence in the information. Again, let me know down below. And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Mwah.